Hello, this is William Carlos Williams's poem called The Shadow, which was written way back in about 1915. Soft as the bed in the earth, where a stone has lain, so soft, so smooth, so cool, Spring closes me in with her arms and her hands. Rich as the smell of new earth on a stone that has lain breathing the damp through its pores, Spring closes me in with her blossomy hair, brings dark to my eyes. Well, that is a poem typical of Carlos Williams, where it has a high QS quality about it. There's so little that is stated, and yet there's so much lying beneath the surface. And it's a poem that requires rereading and pondering about, and it's a great aid to meditative thought, where you can just look at something and imagine the circumstances around it. In other words, as it is in front of you, without this sort of deep philosophizing and allusions to great writers and thinkers. More of an impression of, as part of the modernist stream of consciousness, if you like. What I mean by that is the world is seen not through a structured narration, if you like, but through your impressions of what you see. And in view of that, I'd like to read it again, but this time just look at how the thoughts spring from the actual visual sensations of what he's seeing in a very simplistic way, almost, as I say, like a haiku, but with so much beneath the surface. So have a listen again. The shadow, soft as the bed in the earth where a stone has lain, so soft, so smooth, and so cool, Spring closes me in with her arms and her hands. Rich as the smell of new earth on a stone that has lain breathing the damp through its pores, Spring closes me in with her blossomy hair, brings dark to my eyes. It's almost like spring is enrapturing, it's wrapping right round him. He's feeling the damp, he's feeling the life, he's feeling even the stone is breathing. And it's a poem that you can read again and again and still find interesting angles on it. And there's a delicacy about the wording. Every word is so carefully placed. Doesn't say with her arms and hands. It says with her arms and her hands. It means so much different because her repeated makes you think of her twice, maybe differently in the second time. We could talk about this for each line, couldn't we? And then the cumulative effect of it all. It's a beautiful little poem, and many of his poems were apparently simple, but they're well worth reading for the beauty that's within them, the beauty that lurks there silently within them. And one of the main ways I think to think about it is that he's not getting too philosophical. He's really just looking at the sense impressions, his feelings and responses to experience, this thing we call life, and trying to make sense of it. So I hope that was useful to you, and I hope you enjoyed that. And please listen out, look out for, I'm trying to do some YouTube videos on a whole wide range of poets whom I admire. Thank you. The reason I admire them is not necessarily for the ideas there, but for the craft of how they express it.